are the ones you'd probably be interested in, right?
Yeah. So Leonard will he be a go on Sunday?
Yeah, he'll be a go. Yeah.
What do you want to see from Daryl or your defense?
It's a pain tolerance thing. I think it's more just getting his feedback. We want to use as much time as we have, but we've got contingency plans in place, and if that's the case, then those other guys will be asked to step up.
What's key for your defense to try to slow down Rob Gronkowski?
Well, he does a great job. You look at his ability to compete. In the run game, he's making plays in the pass game. The rapport that he and Tom have is definitely been illustrated in these first couple weeks. I think it's being mindful of when he comes alive. What are those situations? What are the things that they like to do? What are the types of concepts that they like to activate versus some of the structures that we're going to present? And so it's like anything else. Guys being able to play their assignments, understand where they fit within the framework of the call, and how we keep his impact to a minimum. I feel okay. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I'm not playing, so that's good. As long as I'm not too foggy mentally, then I'm not out there playing, so we'll be okay. Darius Williams is also sick, so he won't be here today. But I don't expect that to affect his game status. That just came to me, but I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
So we can confirm that's non-COVID?
Non-COVID, yes.
Coach, are there any concerns with you about your secondary and Tampa Bay's receiving core? Anything you see you just mess up?
Well, I think I feel really good about our secondary, but have tremendous respect for their receiving core. I mean, they've got guys that can make plays all over the place. I'm not sure if they've ruled. I think Antonio's been ruled out. I don't know for sure, but even with him out, you still got Evans, Godwin. They've got guys that can make plays, and they've got a quarterback that does as good a job as anybody being able to recognize, distribute the ball, and so it's going to be a great challenge. But feel really good about our guys' ability to match up.
Also, my second question about your offensive line. They've been playing great. What do you think of the key factors for them?
I think it's the same thing. I mean, understanding, what a great job these guys do up front defensively. They've got great players across the ball. They've got a great scheme that Coach Bowles runs, and I think it's being able to play as a unit, understanding the different things we want to try to do in the run game versus the variety of front structures that they present, and then being able to, handle the variety of pressure looks in those pass downs. I mean, they do a great job of being able to give you a lot of different things that you have to handle. They've got linebackers that are legitimate pressure guys that can, do a great job affecting the quarterback, in David and Devin White, and those guys are excellent in coverage. But they have the ability to send more than 4. They have the ability to rush 3 and play loaded coverage. They can send a lot more than 4, and there's a lot of really good players, and they do an excellent job of being able to get the isolations and the matchups. But our guys have to be able to step up and handle those the right way. Thank you.
I know you spoke earlier in the week about getting Deshaun Jackson more involved, but what about Tyler Higbee? Would you like to see more involved too?
I think so. There was a couple opportunities that we were trying to. I thought he had a big third down conversion last week with the one, catch that he did have, Lindsey. But he was active against the Bears. Tyler's always going to be a guy that we want to try to get involved. I think he is one of the more complete tight ends in the league. So you're always at your best when we're able to get more plays off, get everybody involved, and keep people honest in terms of where the ball's going and how many different guys we can get touches. And so Tyler and Deshaun are definitely two of those guys that you always want to be able to have involved.
Sean, as you have expanded some of the principles in your offense with Matthew Stafford, what has it been like working specifically with Cooper Kupp on that? Not on the field, but in the film
I think it's been a great collaboration, kind of like you've heard us talk about with Matthew. I mean, he's an extension of the coaching staff. The time that he puts in, the questions he asks, the details. I mean, he's as thoughtful as it gets, and he has great as ownership of any player that I've been around in terms of everything that's going on from an offensive and a defensive just structure standpoint. I mean, he wants to know what's going on with the game in totality, and so it's been a lot of fun. He's always around. He's always asking great questions. He has such good insight, and he's one of those guys that he keeps you accountable as a coach, and you get better as a coach because you want to make sure you have answers for Cooper and really for a lot of our players, but Cooper is one of those guys that stands out, and so it's been fun. It's been a learning process, but it's one that's ongoing, evolving, and I hope to feel that way in week 14 and 15 as well. Yeah. It's funny. We had one of those 15-minute combine interviews with him, and he was so impressive. I looked over at Yarbs. You said, "You better hope he doesn't want to coach. He might be taking. He could coach the receivers too." So he's he's been fun to work with. I think he's only gotten better because of how conscientious he is. It's fun to see when a really talented player puts the work in and you're seeing the work pay off based on the results that he's able to produce. And it's not exclusive to just when the ball's in his hands. I mean, you watch some of the stuff he's doing. Saw Matthew mention it, but he's the guy that's securing the edge on Van's touchdown, on the third play of the season offensively. And so he's doing so much for us. Robert really does a lot of those same things. And those two guys are as selfless and as productive of receivers as you could ever ask for. It's awesome. It's awesome to be around them.
When a running back is a game time decision, does it create any complications, any drop off in preparation?
It doesn't, because you've got to plan for the worst case scenario that he's not going, and so it ends up being a bonus if he is able to go. But you work and make sure that you have a plan and alignment that those other guys are ready to step up. And if it is a no go, then nobody's stressed out. And if it's a thumbs up, then that's a positive for us.
How well suited is Sonny Michel to kind of dealing with that uncertainty?
I think he's very well suited, because those guys, you never know. I mean, I don't think he anticipated Darrell getting his ribs injured in the game last week, but he came in, stepped up, did a great job. It's no different than guys. You don't never really know exactly how the game's going to unfold, but you have to prepare yourself mentally and physically to be ready to play every single snap. That's what makes Sonny a pro, and you could see he was ready to go, and it's a real credit to Thomas as well.
How are you feeling about special teams and Tutu Atwell's development?
Well, I think I think he's done a nice job. I mean, you're really looking at one snap that you can evaluate where if we get that block, there's a lot of space, and he's an explosive playmaker. But I like the decisions. I like the way that he's fielded the ball, and I'm looking to see him get more opportunities so then we can really have some tangible examples in games to say, man, he's done a really good job. But it's such a limited inventory that I think we're all excited about, seeing what this guy can do when the ball gets in his hands.
Special teams in general, coming off what you were talking about early in the week. Joe DeCamillis was in here talking about, obviously, the need for improvement. But here you, on the eve of game day, how are you feeling about it?
I feel good. Here's what I feel good about, Gary. When I'm out there, and you guys see too, the process, the practice habits, the meetings, everything's in alignment with doing things the right way. Now we got to go be able to go execute, and that's something that I am confident we have the right guys to be able to go get that done. Now we want to be able to see it come to life, but we always talk about process over results. When you look at what's occurred, are these things fixable? Are these things that we can have solutions so that we don't have these things come up again? I feel like the answer is yes, and I'm hopeful to see that come to fruition on Sunday.
Sean, real quick, just the running back situation, depending on Darrell's availability, could you potentially elevate somebody from the practice squad tomorrow?
There is a possibility of that. Yeah, Buddy Howell's a guy that could potentially be activated, but if Darrell's not able to go, then it'll be a good dose of Sonny and Jake. Okay? Thanks, guys.